All right, good evening from wherever you are watching us from. Thank you so much for watching Imani Television, the #1 TV station on matters, faith, and Jesus Christ. My hope is that you had a lovely day. Welcome to News Hour, today being a Tuesday, the 5th September of 2023. We have a lot in our bulletin tonight, including the Climate Summit happening in Nairobi, so stay tuned and be informed. We also have news from various parts of the country, all just for you. But before we dive deep into our news, make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, that is Imani Television on YouTube, as well as you can also like our page, our Facebook page, that is at Imani Television on Facebook. All right, let's get our top stories tonight.
Global Gateway supports investments ranging from hydropower plants in the DRC, Burundi, Rwanda, and Tanzania, to the €1 billion initiative on climate adaptation and resilience in Africa, which we announced at COP27.
Recent findings tell us all kinds of stories, including that July was the hottest month ever recorded in human history.
And I would like to say that we did this for the best interest of all of us, for rotational leadership. And KYPA must stick to its principles. It must never be overtaken.
Defense Council, even the Council watching brief for purposes of the appeal. Let all the exhibit produced here, they are so bulky.
Mzazi nimemwambia anaenda kushughulika kutafuta pesa, akikuja nilipe ndo nikaa admitted. Ya sasa nimeshangaa pia, nimemgoja hadi saizi ananiambia bado hajapata pesa.
We are used to see these sports as male-dominated sports, whereby the men are the ones supposed to do everything. But I'm here to encourage all the ladies back at home
and that council enjoys the full mandate of providing checks and balances to the lower level officers. So we do not expect anyone to disregard council.
Printers, which the PS and the DG are able to say that once that the procurement process is complete and they have the machine, they can able to produce an extra 4.
All right, welcome to the broadcast. My name is BARASA SAENYI. Our sign language interpreter is Phyllis Mirikwa Arunga. Now, President Paul Kagame of Rwanda has called for urgent action on climate change at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi. In his speech today, Kagame said that Africa is already bearing the brand of climate change, with more extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and desertification. He warned that the continent is in danger of being left behind if the world does not take action to address the climatic crisis. Kagame called for a new global deal on climate change that is fair and equitable. He also urged developed countries to provide more financial assistance to developing nations to help them mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change. Let's watch.
The world is reminded of the real and growing threat of climate change. Recent findings tell us all kinds of stories, including that July was the hottest month ever recorded in human history. Africa continues to carry the burden of rising temperatures, despite contributing the smallest share of global greenhouse gas emissions. We cannot just keep talking about it without doing what is required to fix the problem. This is unfair, but in the long run, playing the blame game is not the answer. The world is reminded of the real and growing threat of climate change. Recent findings tell us all kinds of stories, including that July was the hottest month ever recorded in human history. Africa continues to carry the burden of rising temperatures, despite contributing the smallest share of global greenhouse gas emissions. We cannot just keep talking about it without doing what is required to fix the problem. This is unfair, but in the long run, playing the blame game is not the answer. The world is reminded of the real and growing threat of climate change. Recent findings tell us all kinds of stories, including that July was the hottest month ever recorded in human history. Africa continues to carry the burden of rising temperatures, despite contributing the smallest share of global greenhouse gas emissions. We cannot just keep talking about it without doing what is required to fix the problem. This is unfair, but in the long run, playing the blame game is not the answer. The world is reminded of the...
Now, speaking of the second day of the African Climatic Summit, Cabinet Secretary for Environment, that is Soipan Tuya, stated that Africa stands at a pivotal juncture in addressing the climate crisis. She expressed the global expectation for groundbreaking developments to emerge from this week, ones that can counter the pervasive sense of despair and ultimately make history. Tuya stressed that many young people are looking to their leaders to steer them towards a sustainable future. She, however, acknowledged that despite the efforts made by African nations to combat climate change, the continent is still remains burdened and challenged. It's worth noting that the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is also in attendance at the ongoing Africa Climate Summit. Let's watch.
And Kenya in particular is the cradle of mankind. It is my hope and prayer that out of the cradle of mankind comes the all-time elusive solution to combating climate change. African-led solutions to decarbonize and steer a low-carbon development pathway for the globe. We are gathered here today to make history as the continent of Africa. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, although African countries are making every available effort to deal with the vagaries of climate change, our economies are continuing to be weighed down by mounting debts. Millions of young Africans are looking up to African leaders here to leave them with a promise, a visible promise, to make them feel that there is a future where they have hope to get green jobs, live a dignified life, and thrive. We are looking to the summit to chart a green growth pathway for the African continent, set the stage for Africa to lead the globe towards a more ecologically responsible global industrialization, catalyzed by financing that is accessible, adequate, and affordable. The world is waiting for something anew out of this week.
All right, let's turn to some local news. And Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino has dismissed reports that he was kicked out of the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association, that is KYPA Secretary General position. Babu explained that he stepped down from the position following a meeting with other young Azimio parliamentarians. The Embakasi East MP noted that he made the decision to allow other Azimio MPs to serve in the KYPA Secretary General position. Babu went on to say he cannot be kicked out of KYPA, adding that the association needs him more than he needs it. Let's watch.
I'd like to warn some of the media houses who are rumor mills, spreading rumors left, right, and center, who are making mere statements of puff, and who are misrepresenting facts. And I would like to say that we did meet as 15 members of parliament from the Azimio coalition party, and I decided as Babu Owino to step down from my position as a Secretary General and give a chance to other new members of parliament to get to serve us in various positions. I stepped down. Honorable Mwenje also stepped down from the position of Deputy Secretary General, since he has now been made a Deputy Minority Whip in Parliament. And Honorable Hezena, the Senator, stepped down as a Treasurer. And we decided to give this opportunity to other members because we've served for 1 year now. And I served as a Secretary General in the last Parliament for 5 years in KYPA. And I would like to say that we did this for the best interest of all of us, for rotational leadership. And KYPA must stick to its principles. It must never be overtaken by the government, because this is a caucus that should protect the interest of youth in this nation.
All right, moving forward, 2 weeks after the government issued a directive to all institutions of higher learning to indiscriminately admit first-year students, some universities are charging the students prior to admission. At Kisii University, a handful of students had been stranded after they failed to raise 7% of the tuition fees, which was requested prior to accessing forms that would facilitate their admission. However, the school administration has denied the claims, insisting that it is following the government directive to the latter. Let's watch.
Shughulikiwa juu nini upungufu wa pesa. Kuna pesa ilikuwa tulipe kwa bank 17,000 ndio forms zingine tutoe, lakini hiyo pesa sikuwa nayo. Sasa kwa saizi inabidi tu nirudi niangalie bado vile nitafanya pesa, hata kama nitafanya deferment arudi next year.
So like mimi nilikuwa nafaa nilipe 10,000, bado hiyo nimekosa. Mzazi nimemwambia naenda kushughulika kutafuta pesa, akikuja nilipe ndo nikaa admitted. Sasa nimeshangaa pia, nimemgoja hadi saizi ananiambia bado hajapata pesa. So mimi nitashinda tu hapa nitafute mahali nilale hadi kesho tena nione kama hii shughuli itakuwa imeisha.
All the students who have appeared before us, regardless of whether they made any payment or not, we were not putting any condition on that aspect to receive them. And no student has been stopped or hampered from reporting because of that.
Tusha download hizo maforms, tumefanya kila process online. But kufika hapa tukaambiwa lazima ulipe 7% ndio download some forms. Tulikuwa na zingine tukaambiwa si hizo wanataka.
All right, let's get back to our main story. And the 3-day Nairobi Africa Climate Summit, which began yesterday, has seen participation from head of states, government officials and industry leaders, including representatives from Mozambique, Rwanda, Tanzania, as well as United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, European Union President Ursula von der Leyen, and United States Climate Envoy John Kerry. During his address at the summit, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called on the international community to support Africa in becoming a renewable energy superpower. He also directly addressed the group of 20, that is G20 nations, urging them to fulfill their responsibilities in the fight against climate change by reducing planet warming emissions.
Excellencies, friends, an injustice burns at the heart of the climate crisis, and its flame is scorching hopes and possibilities here in Africa. This continent accounts for less than 4% of global emissions, yet it suffers some of the worst effects of rising global temperatures. Extreme heat, ferocious floods, and tens of thousands dead from devastating droughts. The blow inflicted on development is all around, with growing hunger and displacement, shattered infrastructure, systems stretched to the limit, all aggravated by climate chaos not of your making. It is still possible to avoid the worst effects of climate change, but only with a quantum leap in climate action. The people of Africa and people everywhere need action to respond to deadly climate extremes. First, we need far greater climate ambition, with countries hitting fast forward and massively accelerating action to limit temperature rises and impacts. And the largest emitters must lead the charge, in line with my Climate Solidarity Pact and acceleration agenda. And here, from a low-emitting continent, Africa, I make a very strong appeal to the large emitters, to the G20 countries responsible for 80% of the emissions that will be meeting this week in Delhi. Assume your responsibilities. Developed countries must commit to reaching net zero emissions as close as possible to 2040, and large emerging economies as close as possible to 2050, with support from developed countries to do so. And it's time to break our addiction to fossil fuels and invest in a just and equitable transition. We need to see credible plans to exit coal by 2030 for OECD countries and by 2040 for the rest of the world.
Now, a Milimani Law Court has handed 5 accused persons a combined 7.5 million shillings fine or 2 years imprisonment each after finding them guilty of several counts of forgery, obtaining money by false pretense, and defrauding Pembe flour mills of 218.6 million shillings. Senior Principal Magistrate Peter Ouko, while giving his ruling, said that he has taken into account the amount of money involved and the offense committed by the accused before rendering the verdict. Let's watch.
All the above sentences shall run consecutively. You have 14 days right of appeal, either party. Let all the proceedings herein be typed, certified, furnished to all the counsel for the parties, that's prosecution counsel, defense counsel, even the counsel watching brief for purposes of the appeal. Let all the exhibit produced herein, they are so bulky, be released back to the complainant upon expiration of the said 14 days. That is, in case there is no appeal.
Now, moving forward, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has called on African leaders to help clean up the global energy systems. Speaking in a climatic summit in Nairobi today, von der Leyen said that Africa has a unique opportunity to leapfrog the fossil fuel era and become a leader in renewable energy. Von der Leyen said that the EU is committed to supporting Africa's clean energy transition. She announced a new 1.8 billion fund to help African countries develop renewable energy projects. Let's watch.
Secondly, investment has to come. And this is why 150 billion euro in our investment plan are designated for Africa. We call it Global Gateway. They are aimed at the African continent. Global Gateway supports investments ranging from hydropower plants in the DRC, Burundi, Rwanda, and Tanzania, to the 1 billion euro initiative on climate adaptation and resilience in Africa, which we announced at COP27. And Global Gateway is unique in the global investment landscape. We're not only interested in extracting resources. We want to partner with you to create local value chains, to create good jobs here in Africa. We want to share European technology with you. We want to invest.
Now, and in other news, the Departmental Committee on National Administration and Security has come to the defense of the Immigration Department despite the huge cry over the delay of passports printing that has left many Kenyans desperate. The committee, led by Gabriel Tongoyo, said that a fact-finding mission at Nyayo House established that the Immigration Department still had the capacity to print passports and meet the existing demand, despite the challenges of lack of resources.
Of course, the challenges still remain. The matters on resources. This committee had allocated them some money during the budget to buy the two new printers, which the PS and the DG are able to say that once that the procurement process is complete and they have the machine, they can able to produce an extra 4,000 to 5,000 passports in a day.
From passport alone, we generate about 4 billion Kenya shillings every year. And I'm happy to report that the National Treasury has agreed to be retaining about 10% of that money to be able to run operations of the State Department. And that would be a game changer in terms of giving services to fellow Kenyans. So I want to say that going forward, with the help of the committee, we are going to retain some of the money so that we can be able to produce passports faster.
Now, away from matters passports, a crisis is looming at the University of Nairobi Council leadership as two senior staff claim to occupy the vice-chancellor position at the university. George Omondi, the former Secretary General of the University of Nairobi UASU chapter, says the move will disrupt normal running of the university activities. He claims some powers outside the university are planning to infiltrate the university leadership. Professor Julius Ongengo, who was appointed by the council to act in the position of vice-chancellor after Professor Kiama took 6 months sabbatical leave, the university council and Professor Amokoa Anangwe is yet to sit to approve the return of Professor Kiama. Let's watch.
Now, we have a council that is gazetted, and that council enjoys the full mandate of providing checks and balances to the lower level officers. So we do not expect anyone to disregard council. In fact, for this institution to provide leadership, which it has continued to do, we should get it back on track. And we expect, therefore, that council should come out and state clearly what it is that is obtaining at the University of Nairobi. We have certain individuals who seem to be propelling their own interests at the expense of the wider public good. We do not want to drag the name of the president into this matter. We would want all levels of governance to adhere to what the Ministry of Education says through the cabinets,
Let's get some sports news. And the Football Federation of Kenya, that is FKF, has been continuing its efforts to strengthen football in the country through training for local coaches. Speaking in Roysambu, the former national team Harambee Stars keeper Musa Otieno has expressed his strong support for the coaching courses being conducted by the Football Kenya of Kenya Federation. Now, in various parts of the country, this comes as 30 coaches have successfully completed a 10-day training program in the Roysambu area of Nairobi County. In May this year, FKF, led by President Nick Mwendwa, unveiled plans to host the lucrative Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, a licensed coaching course later this year. Let's watch.
Usually I'm a player, but I've taken this opportunity to enable me to upgrade my coaching skills and also to empower the young ladies who are coming up and show them that being a lady in soccer does not mean that you are supposed to be like, there are many things that you can do as ladies in sports. We are used to see these sports as male-dominated sports, whereby the men are the ones supposed to do everything. But I'm here to encourage all the ladies back at home and in the community that as ladies we can also do this. We can lead other men. That's why I'm here to coach.
Been looking forward to this opportunity, and we really appreciate it, because when I'm going to go back, I'll be able even to mentor, I'll be able to advise, I'll be able to come up even with good programs. And
I think for me as an instructor and as a former player, it is so awesome to be back in the community. And I believe that we are down here to come and give power and to give knowledge. And we believe that for us to go to another level, we need to have good instructors and good coaches, and so that those coaches will produce good players. Because one of the challenges which we have been getting, in a sense that the guys who have been dealing up with the young kids around, they're not knowledgeable. And for us as instructors, we are trying to see how can we educate our coaches who are in Mashinani for us to do something which can help.
Alright, that's the end of news hour tonight. That's all we had for you from our news desk tonight. Keep watching Imani Television for more spiritual awakening programs, uplifting gospel music and information update. Our health program will run next week. We'll be talking about maternal health care. But right now, make sure that you have watched our video, you have left a comment for our review, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. My name is Barasa SAENYI, and on behalf of our production crew, we say thank you so much for watching. Phyllis Miriko Arunga is our sign language interpreter. Have a good night.
Je, wajua ukulima unatawala uchumi wa Kenya na ina uajiri wa hali ya juu? Basi hapa Imani Television tunakuletea kipindi cha ukulima mazao bora, upate kufahamishwa ukulima wa aina mbalimbali na kujifunza kutoka kwa wakulima waliobobea katika sekta hii na wataalamu wengine. Jiunge nami Zerida Chepkosgei kila Jumanne saa 2 usiku upate kujuzwa mengi.
Welcome to Imani Guest Houses, your perfect home away from home. Our spacious guest rooms are designed to provide you with ultimate comfort and relaxation, complete with hot showers and free Wi-Fi. Enjoy mouth-watering meals served in our charming dining area with friendly staff at your service. Rest assured that your vehicle is safe and secure with our ample on-site parking space. Unwind in the serene outdoor terrace while enjoying the scenic surrounding, and our friendly staff is always on hand to ensure your stay is nothing short of amazing. Located along Webuye Kitale Road opposite St. Joseph's Boys High School and 1 kilometer from the Kitale Airstrip, it is uniquely located at Imani Radio Ministry Campus near the airstrip and highway. Contact us on 0796 035561 or 0713 093354. Book your stay at Imani Guest Houses today and experience the ultimate comfort and relaxation in this beautiful region. Located along Webuye Kitale Road opposite St. Joseph's Boys High School and 1 kilometer from the Kitale Airstrip, it is uniquely located at Imani Radio Ministry Campus near the airstrip and highway. Contact us on 0796 035561 or 0713 093354. Book your stay at Imani Guest Houses today and experience the ultimate comfort and relaxation in this beautiful region.